Welcome back, my friends. Thank you so much for being here for another video. I want to jump right into a topic that I know is sensitive, and believe me, this topic has been sensitive for me too. So my heart is with you. I want to share with you guys some learning that I've done on what forgiveness is and what it is not, and how I think that we get forgiveness and reconciliation mixed into one thing. So if you've clicked this video and you're hoping for something different, a different teaching on forgiveness, this is it. Please stick with me through to the end, and I really feel like I will be able to surprise you with a different take on forgiveness and how you can implement it into your life. What forgiveness is and what it is not. Let's get started. I want to send you a blessing, my friends, as we get started on this journey of learning about forgiveness. I want to invite Spirit to be here with us in all light and love and truth. And I want to send you a special blessing individually, wherever you are, whatever issue or healing or learning it is that you're working on. I send you light and love and magic to help you through that. You're doing a beautiful job. Keep going. So, jumping right in to this concept, my friends, I want to talk about what forgiveness is and what it is not. I think currently in our society, in our culture, I feel like we have this idea that forgiveness is the same as reconciliation, like they're equal. I feel like when forgiveness is talked about, a lot of times the meaning behind that statement is reconciliation or repair. I've had a lot of times in life where I've had someone say to me, "Oh, you just need to forgive them." And what they're actually saying is, you need to just let this person back into your life, or you just need to go back to how things were, or you need to keep things the same, status quo. What I have found on my journey with spirit is that these are completely different concepts. We have the concept of forgiveness and we have the concept of reconciliation, and they are two completely different things. But for whatever reason, in our culture today, I feel like they are blended into one thing. I feel like forgiveness is associated with just boop, automatic repair. If you've forgiven someone, it just means it's automatically repaired, it's all taken care of, whoop, done, forgiven. I don't think that that's what forgiveness means. I want to show you guys what I've found about this. And I feel like this is a really important topic to talk about, especially when we're talking about trauma healing. A lot of times we have trauma that happens related to abuse, related to abusers that have been in our life. And forgiveness versus reconciliation, it's totally different. I spent a lot of time working with spirit on this because it was central to my healing journey to learn how to forgive, as I feel like it is in any human's journey of learning and growing. Reconciliation is a totally different topic, and I think that we're doing ourselves a disservice when we mix the two concepts, when we are saying to ourselves that forgiveness is the same as reconciliation. I feel like we're blending two concepts and not understanding either concept correctly. So, on that note, I wanted to dive in and give you guys some actual definitions from the dictionary about what these words mean. I have these really beautiful antique dictionaries that my uncle left to me, and they're from like the 1940s. So it's really interesting to see, even just looking back, not quite 100 years, how our words and definitions have been shaped and have been changed. But the definitions I'm going to give you guys today are from these dictionaries. I first looked up the word forgive. It says to cease to cherish displeasure toward, pardon, excuse, to forego the penalty for, remit as a debt, to show forgiveness, grant pardon. And then I noticed there at the bottom where it says see synonyms under absolve. And so I was like, okay, it's very interesting in these dictionaries. Sometimes they'll give you a little path, I've noticed, especially if you're listening to your intuition, where you can kind of just feel the path of what you need to look up next. And so I looked up the word absolve, and I wanted to also give that to you guys. Absolve means to set free, as from obligation, liability, or guilt, to acquit. We see the idea here of to clear, to acquit, to set free, to pardon. So if we think about what this means for us in our definition of forgiveness, if we're thinking about forgiveness with the synonym of absolve, it's an act of setting free. It's an act of release. It's an act of letting go. Forgiveness is a one-way interaction. Okay, so I want to contrast this definition of what we just looked at for forgiveness. I want to show you guys the definition for reconcile. Reconcile means to restore to friendship after estrangement, to reunite the alienated affections of, to bring to acquiescence, content, quiet submission. And we see words in here like harmonize, and to adjust the differences or inconsistencies of, to settle. And at the very bottom of the definition for reconciliation, we see the word atonement. And so, just like before, I went ahead and looked up the word atonement. Under atonement, we see satisfaction, reparation, or expiation made for wrong or injury, an agreement. We see the meaning of this word boiled down very simply. Atonement means repair. And so, my friends, I've come to the heart, the essence of what I want to tell you guys in this video. If we take the word forgiveness and we boil it all the way down to the simplest meaning, we see that forgiveness means to set free. And on the same token, if we do that with reconciliation, if we boil that down to the simplest meaning, we would find repair. So we have forgiveness to set free, reconciliation to repair. We have two completely different things at the heart of these words, to set free and to repair. I think that this takes us into this huge unlock. When we have had forgiveness and reconciliation so blended and so blurred, and we've made them into this one thing, you can feel like it is totally, completely impossible to forgive someone who has wounded you. When we have in the back of our head, oh, if I forgive that person, it means that I just am automatically repaired with this person in this relationship, then we're very unlikely to forgive at all. The problem with us not forgiving, if we are unable to relinquish that energy, the energy of the wound, the energy of that harm that was done to us, then we continually keep living in it over and over and over again. And it's like the wound never goes away. The wound never heals when we keep living in it all the time. What you're letting go of when you forgive is you're letting go of the wound. You're letting go of that identity with the wound, and you're able to actually begin to heal it. I'm not saying that healing just happens overnight or that this process is easy, but I think it's a lot easier. This is at least what I found for myself. If we are not expecting forgiveness to look like automatic repair, then we are much more willing to step into forgiveness, because forgiveness is a one-way path and reconciliation is a two-way path. It takes two people to reconcile a situation to really repair a relationship issue. If you are the only person doing a repairing in your relationship, then it is not a two-way relationship, and it's ultimately going to be harmful for you. The truest definition of forgiving is letting go, release. When you let it go, you get you back. And that's what I want to see for you guys so desperately because this has been central to my healing. And as soon as I worked out this issue with spirit, because I had a lot of coming to the table with spirit where I was like, I can't do this. I can't forgive. I can't let this go. I don't know what to do because I thought forgiveness meant repairing, and it doesn't. It doesn't mean that. Now, is repairing good? Absolutely. Repairing is a beautiful thing if you have a beautiful relationship to repair. If you have a beautiful connection with another human that you love and you both want to repair that, yes, repair is beautiful. But forgiveness, it is central. It's central to you moving on, to you reclaiming you and being who you really want to be, to you bringing back those pieces of you that got splintered away when you sustained this wound. You're making this conscious choice to unbind yourself from the pain, from the wound. You're making a conscious choice to release it and to let it go. I've been in abusive relationships, and they're very, very difficult to recover from. And so if you've been in a relationship like that, my heart goes out to you because it's a very difficult thing to recover from. And I'm really proud of you. Whatever part of the spectrum of healing that you are on, I'm really proud of you for wherever you're at because each step is so important and each step is tough. It's hard. And so just know that. Know that my heart goes out to you, whatever part of the process that you're on in healing, if you have trauma from an abusive relationship. But the point that I want to make here is that forgiveness is absolutely essential. It's absolutely essential. It is the only way that I feel that I have been able to move on in life. It's the only way I've been able to release what abusers have done to me, the traumas that I've sustained. It's the only way I've been able to reclaim who I am and come back into my body's, mental body, physical body, spiritual body, and to truly be present. When we have trauma, we have abuse like this, we have these wounds, we have parts of ourselves that kind of get splintered off and loss that occurs because we're just in so much pain. But I want to really, you know, really reassure you guys that forgiveness is so necessary. Now, forgiveness does not mean repair, particularly if you have had an abusive relationship. It does not mean that. I think it's really important for me to talk about this with you guys because early on, when I was going through an abusive situation, I had a lot of people, a lot of peers, a lot of people around me that were saying, you just need to forgive. You just need to forget. You just need to move on. You need to get back with this person. You need to just make everything right. Forgiveness is making it right. This letting go, this unbinding yourself from the wound, from this pain, reclaiming your identity, that is making it right. That is bringing you back to you, and that is healing and automatic repair. It is not, it is not true forgiveness. Where we see this sense of forgiveness or setting free, we see this release and unbinding ourselves with the wound, unbinding ourselves from the abuse, from the person who hurt us. It's an unbinding and a setting free. And setting free is different than repair. If you feel that this is an abusive relationship and you sustained wounds and abuses from this person, that's something you need to let go of. And it's so interesting because that's the true essence of forgiveness right there is release. It's release. It's not repair. So if you're in a situation like that, I just want to encourage you guys that it's okay to release. It is okay to release, and it doesn't mean that you're doing forgiveness wrong. It means you are forgiving. When you let that go, when you let that person, that behavior, that image, that wound, that energy, when you let it go, you are forgiving. Now, when we're talking about reconciliation or repair, an example of that is where you're in a loving relationship, a caring relationship, and someone has made a mistake, right? But both parties want to come to the table and they want to fix this. They want to fix whatever this is. So, an example of reconciliation and repair is something where you have two parties who are very involved, very committed to this relationship, and each person wants to make it right. And so you have a coming together around this repair, and the wound is able to be bound like that, is able to be stitched together. I want to encourage you guys, if this is a concept that you're working on understanding and you're struggling on this, if you've had abuses in your life, or if there's something you need to forgive, or something you do need to repair, I want to encourage you guys to sit down and have a little meeting with your intuition. At this meeting, you are going to assess what needs to be forgiven or set free, and what needs to be reconciled or repaired. And you will find that as you sit down and you do this work with your intuition, you do this shadow work of looking at this with your light, illuminating this and bringing truth to this, you'll find a clear feeling of what needs to happen for you in order for you to move forward with your healing. And just know that as you're looking at this also might be within yourself. You might need to forgive yourself. There might be things within you that you've been unwilling to let go of, or you're still punishing yourself. You're still hitting yourself over the head about this issue. So sit down with yourself and do an assessment of what needs to be set free and what needs to be repaired. And you'll find that they're two completely different things. And so, my friends, like always, I'm so happy that each of you are here. I'm happy that you are here on the planet, and that is genuine, my friends. I am so happy you're here, and I'm happy to be here with you. I'm happy to be sharing my gifts, and thank you so much to all the new subscribers. I appreciate you guys so much. It means the world to me. I want to end this out with just another word for you guys of blessing and encouragement. And you know what? You're at the right spot. You are at the right spot. If you happened on this video and this resonates with you and you're like, I'm not sure, I don't know about forgiving, just allow this to kind of settle with you. Allow it to kind of settle in your nervous system a little bit and allow it to kind of process. Sometimes it takes us a little bit of time before we're like, okay, yes, that makes sense. I can do this. I want to let this go for real. It might take a little time, and that's okay. You're on your own timeline, and there are no deadlines because you are you and you are unique. So, my friends, you go have a wonderful day, and I will see you back again very soon.